things louder, come closer. It's like if you can't see these things, I can't make them bigger, come closer. This is my low-tech PowerPoint. Because it works in a field. You know, PowerPoint doesn't work in a field. Alright. Now then, to design this fighting style, this system, this method, this concept, we're looking at the core of it. We're looking at not everything we could do, what do we need to do? What is the most essential pieces? And then we use that as our foundation, and then we build from there. Okay? Now, 4 things we really want to consider as criteria, as requirements. We want what we learn to be fairly generic. Generic meaning, you know, one thing that can be applied over a lot of situations. Not learning specifics, right, that will only work in one situation each. We want something that's fairly adaptable, easy to learn, simple to apply throughout a various, you know, range of circumstances. Something generic, not specific. Otherwise, you're going to have a big memory. You're going to learn 1,000 things, you know, in the middle of that fight. You know, you've got to learn, you know, A plus B equals C, but if it's B plus D, that equals, it's too much to learn. We want a simple formula that will apply to everything. When you learn maths, they don't teach you answers, do they? When you learn mathematics, they don't teach you 1,000,000 answers to 1,000,000 questions. They teach you a handful of formula to work out 1,000,000 questions. That's the generic thing we want to look at. We want it, like I said earlier, to work in a sudden time frame. Because the other guy will not give you the time. You can't come out and touch gloves with a man on the street and then both work out this game plan you've got and eventually you implement it. It doesn't work that way. The only guy who used to work on nightclub doors, the guys I used to like to fight on the nightclub doors were the martial arts guys. You know, because as soon as they see a man standing up like this, I used to go like this. Like this. Because now I know I've got lots of time. I can play around with this guy and figure something out. The guys I used to hate were the guys that jumped on me mid-sentence, like a professional swimmer, using fists, not flippers, you know? They're the guys I hated to fight. What we're going to look at as well is going to be today is going to be impact-based. All impact as the core. Not everything I teach is impact-based. On Monday we're doing the subject management, arresting people. That's all grappling-based. But for self-protection, to survive that combat, impact is king. Okay? Simply put, you can't hit more than one guy at the same time. You can't grapple more than one guy at the same time. Grappling, no matter what anybody says, is dependent on size and strength. Okay? Technique gets you so far, but if that other guy is that much heavier and stronger than you, you can suffer very badly with this. Impact is the only thing. Who's the lightest in the room, do you think? How much do you weigh?
I'm just kidding, I'm not the lightest. I don't know, 80 kilos.
Yeah? How about yourself, young lady? Are you light?
About 60.
About 60? Yeah? You're probably the lightest. Best chance you've got against, say, yourself, how much do you weigh?
180.
Okay. You eat too much, no? Best chance you have against him isn't going to be the grabbing, is it? You know? It's going to be this, okay? It's going to be hard, but it's the best chance, not a perfect chance. So impact is key. You can deliver more force in a split second with impact than you can with grappling. Grappling doesn't really have a good end game, apart from a choke. You don't tap people out on the street. If they'll tap, you let go of them, they'll keep fighting. Like this, okay? Think about why they give soldiers guns and not nets. Impact is what we're looking at today for fighting. Okay? Now here's the key. What we teach has to be probable. It has to work most times. It has to be high percentage. As the core. Not everything. And everybody has their specializations personal to themselves. But to teach a group of people, we teach the most important stuff. And what we look at is what has the highest chance of working against most people in most situations. This is what we term high percentage. The speciality that somebody has is a low percentage technique. Okay? It might work against one person in one situation if somebody who's very good does it. Okay? So you can look at some of the old fighters, like in the American Bill Wallace, Superfoot Wallace, amazing kicker. To him it was good. To everybody else, very low percentage, kicking someone in the head, you know. But to him he could do it. But you couldn't teach that to everybody because it's a specialisation of just that guy. So we're looking at the highest percentage stuff. I want it to be probable, not just possible. Everything is possible. Every martial art works if the situation is just right for it. But the problem is, sometimes the situation has to be very specific for it to work. We're looking at the broad picture, what will work most times. Okay? For the core, or for everything, just at the start point, just to build our foundation on. Alright, any questions on these guys? Just to reiterate then, generic techniques, okay? If we look at how to punch someone, it has to work for that, for the palm, for the elbow. If I'm holding a gun, yeah, if I'm holding a rock, that was the same technique I did for every single one of those. That's a generic technique. So I didn't learn 5 different things. I learned one thing that was generic and I could apply it with 5 different circumstances. That's the essence of that, not specifics. Specifics just uses up too much RAM. Yeah? You want one program open, not 20. It's like a computer, you slow down. It has to work suddenly like this. Okay? You'll be in a fight before you realize it. If you missed all the signs, you're in it, you don't have time to prepare your best punch, you get beat. The guy who doesn't know how to fight, surprisingly, still manages to put people in hospital every single week. You know? And you think, how can he do that? He hasn't been trained. Or the trained guys go, untrained fighters. You go, yeah, they're the worst kind. Professionals are predictable, but the world's full of amateurs, don't forget that. Okay. Impact-based, to give you the highest force option. Alright, the highest force option. And it has to be probable, not just possible. So when you say, yeah, that could work, I say, yeah, that could work, but could this work better? And you go, okay, maybe. That's what we're looking at. What's going to work the best? Alright, questions on that? No?